very warm welcome to the sixth issue of The Missing Link. We are all aware that Delhi observes smog formation every year. But are you actually aware about the series of events that lead to the formation of this smog? In this edition of The Missing Link, I shall be discussing all of those events that take place every year which lead to the formation of this smog. It is very important to understand all of them in the series of events as they unfold. In order to understand smog formation in India, it is very important to understand our agricultural seasons. We have two main agricultural seasons, Kharif and Rabi. Kharif is the monsoonal agricultural season, which is the main agricultural season of India. Rice is the main food crop in this season, which is also the main food crop of India. It is very important to mention at this, juncture, that 80 crore people in India are still dependent upon free food. This public distribution system is fed by three states, Punjab, Haryana and Western Uttar Pradesh. Within these three, Punjab dominates in the share of the crops. The main crops that are used for the public distribution system are rice and wheat. Due to the changing climatic conditions, erratic rainfall is being observed, which is why delayed sowing of rice is being practiced. Since the delayed sowing of rice is taking place, the harvesting of rice will also be delayed. Now, because of that, our main Kharif crop is sown with some delay, and therefore the harvesting of rice is going to be delayed as well. Now, since the harvesting of rice is delayed, it is going to overlap with the main Rabi crop of India, that is wheat. In India, or rather in across the world, in the subtropical high pressure belt latitudes, in the subtropical areas, we are all aware that winters are reducing. The duration of winters is reducing, drastically, which is why the growing season of wheat is squeezing. It is very crucial to plant wheat, to sow wheat on time. Now, these two things are overlapping. Harvesting of rice has been delayed, and the sowing time of wheat has a very narrow window. Therefore, now these are almost overlapping. Now, since rice needs to be harvested very soon, it needs certain equipment called balers so that all the rice stubble can be removed effectively. Given the situation in the last few years, even in the present scenario, the availability of balers is not up to the mark, which is why not every farmer is being able to utilize this facility of balers to remove all the rice stubble in time. What is stubble? Once you remove the grain from the plant, whatever stem remains behind is called the stubble. It is very important to clear the field of rice stubble before wheat can be planted. Therefore, since there is a shortage of, balers, farmers are resorting to burning stubble of rice. Now, the question can arise that why are farmers planting rice and wheat only? If you look at it very carefully, the demand for the public distribution system caters to wheat and rice. All of these are fed by Punjab, Haryana and Western Uttar Pradesh. The effective MSP for these crops is still higher than all other crops. Even though on paper it may appear that the MSP for bajra is more than that of rice. That is, per kilogram or per ton. But the thing is, when you look at the yield per hectare, as to how much crop can be yielded per hectare of a farm, more rice and wheat can be actually produced. Therefore, the effective MSP per hectare is still more for rice and wheat. Moreover, rice is heavily subsidized because of subsidized electricity and water. All of this is to feed all of the industries developed, based upon rice and wheat, and also for the public distribution system as well. So the bottom line is, the farmers are forced to grow wheat and rice. They are unable to come out of this cycle, and the growing window of wheat is squeezing. The harvesting period of rice has been delayed. The harvesting of rice and sowing of wheat is overlapping. There is a very short window to harvest rice. The availability of balers is not up to the mark. Therefore, poor farmers as a last resort are forced to burn stubble. Now, why am I discussing all of this in smog? Because smog takes place around October, November, December in Delhi. Now, the first series of event that takes place during this time is this event of stubble burning. Now, let me add on to this. This is not the only factor which is going to contribute to smog, right? In October, we have all our festivals. For example, Dussehra. It is also a big polluting event. It does lead to the addition of a lot of pollutants, followed by Diwali. Again, no matter how much the Honorable Supreme Court or the government tries, people will burn crackers. And as always, every year we see enough pollutants are added into the atmosphere to make our eyes water. So this is not the only thing. Diwali, Dussehra and stubble burning are overlapping. But there is one more very critical event that takes place during this time. You will be surprised to know. The wedding season in India begins during this time only. The muhurats are all scheduled during this time, during October, November, December, which is why every Indian festival of, you can say, wedding, it is also a festival. It is also incorporating a lot of firecrackers, adding a lot of pollutants during this time. Moreover, you will be surprised to know that there are more than 11 power plants in and around Delhi NCR region. None of them are following the emission norms. All of them have been given regular extensions to actually conform to the pollution levels. The latest, you can say, allowance given to all of these power plants. Some power plants have been allowed to emit more pollution than the norms till 2026. All of them, they're adding pollution. So during this time, October, November, December, stubble burning is adding a lot of pollutants. Diwali, Dussehra, wedding season is adding a lot of pollution. The power plants are adding a lot of pollution, and not to mention all of the vehicles. But all of this pollution on its own is not enough to trigger smog. It is very crucial to understand what actually takes place during this time. All of the pollution is building up in North India during this particular time. And this is basically the arrival of winters. When we talk about summers, the subtropical high pressure belt actually shifts northwards, away from North India. The ITCZ moves northwards and it brings the monsoonal rainfall. But during this time, by October, what is happening? The ITCZ is over our water bodies, over our peninsular India, and the subtropical high pressure belt is just re-establishing itself over North India. We are all aware that the subtropical high pressure belt is a sinking air system. And this high pressure belt is the source of winds. So this is the area of high pressure and the ITCZ is the area of low pressure. So around October, the dominant wind system over North India is from the northwest. During this time, the biggest low pressure in North India is created in Delhi itself. Because of all of the pollution-laden events that we discussed, all of this warm pollution-laden air is rising, creating a very strong low pressure. Therefore, by the time the high pressure belt is arriving over North India, Delhi NCR has already started pulling in pollutants from all the adjoining areas. And as soon as all the pollution accumulates in the Delhi NCR region, the subtropical high pressure belt re-establishes itself over North India. This effectively creates an inversion lid. This sinking air system establishes itself over North India, trapping whatever pollutant is present below it. This is known as a pollution dome. Every winters, no matter what you do, the subtropical high pressure belt will establish itself over North India. But the series of events that unfold right before this allow Delhi NCR to pull in all the pollutants from its own region and the adjoining areas as well. All of you must have seen such kind of an, you can say, scenario where you can see a band of pollution below clear skies. This clear sky is nothing but the sinking air system of the subtropical high pressure belt. This is called subsidence inversion. Whatever warm air in the form of pollution is actually rising from the surface is not as warm as the air sinking above it. The sinking air under the subtropical high pressure belt undergoes adiabatic heating, and this air is much warmer than the air below it, effectively creating temperature inversion conditions. And which is why every year in winters, this is a very common sight over North India. This is nothing but a pollution dome. You must have seen these black lines in winters over North India as well. This is nothing but subsidence inversion itself. So all of these factors actually lead to the formation of smog in Delhi. What is a solution, possible solution for it? We cannot stop the subtropical high pressure belt. We can control the pollution. But the one thing that we can do is we can shift the dependence on wheat and rice in the public distribution system. We can shift to millets. In order to make that change, first we need to create a demand for millets in the industry, because many industries who are giving crores of jobs in India are based upon wheat and rice as the raw material. Moreover, there is one more solution for it. We are all aware that what is the factor actually pulling in moisture towards Delhi? It is Delhi itself. The low pressure created over Delhi is pulling all the winds towards Delhi. So we can actually reduce the amount of low pressure that is created over Delhi. How? We can paint Delhi white. If you paint Delhi white, you can use concrete roads which are lighter than the asphalt road. It is going to increase the albedo. If you increase the albedo, Delhi is going to heat up less. Therefore, at least it is going to stop pulling lesser pollutants towards itself before the high pressure belt reestablishes over itself. All of these factors need to be very carefully analyzed once you understand the topic of smog in Delhi. As always, I have added all of this and much more in the document attached to this issue. You can download the issue of this document on the Telegram channel of our institute. That is all for this issue. Stay tuned for the missing links, further issues. Thank you.